It's tactic time, and welcome back to the channel. Today's tactic is a 4-2-3-1, but I've used different roles to get elite results. That's right, no DMs on support, no inside forwards, no advanced forwards, lots of goals, lots of fun, lots of trophies, which is the main thing. If you're liking the Football Manager tactics, hit like. If you want to see the future ones, hit subscribe. Now let's get into the tests. Okay, let's start it with a team that's an absolute beast in French football. Not going to dwell on it. I get it. They're an elite team. You expect them to win everything. They didn't lose a single game in the league. They won the Champions League. They won the French Cup, and they won the Trophée des Champions. Yeah, I didn't pass the French GCSE, but they won that too. I get it. We expect it. They scored a ton of goals, dominated. Let's move on to the next test. From one financial powerhouse to another, but you don't expect Newcastle to win the league. And they didn't quite win the league, but they did finish second, and they did win an FA Cup, and they did win the Carabao Cup. Champions League knocked out by Bayern Munich, but I would say that's a pretty successful season. You can see, obviously, Callum Wilson has played a lot of games, 24 games. What happened to Isak then? He didn't play so much. He obviously needs to be trained in the role that we're using, and this is how you do that. You've never done it. Bit of a spoiler for you. Poacher up top, and that's how you would do that. Yep, he's awkward in the role. So in your save, you could use Isak instead of Callum Wilson, and I'm willing to bet he scores more goals. But anyway, good strong season for Newcastle. Let's move on to the last one. So to really test their tactic, I've taken it away from the elite team in PSG, taken it away from the Premier League, down to League 2, over to Walsall, and they have won the league. You can see both strikers in the top 3 scorers. Lots of good numbers with the average ratings. If I show you the season preview, it says 14th. I'm pretty sure when I loaded it, it was either 18th or 19th, but it doesn't matter. 14th to win in the league with 122 goals, 61 against. You got to remember, this is a team predicted to finish 14th. It's going to concede goals, but it's got enough about it in the attack to go and get 122 and 96 points, and Walsall are going up as champions. Okay, just to show you some of the goals, this is the FA Cup final. It's against Aston Villa. There's your fullback. There's your 2 defensive midfielders, attacking midfielder, winger, and Callum Wilson up front. I can't get over that. Alexander Isak should definitely be in the team. He's not, but he should be. Didn't matter. They won 3-1. So here is the first goal. Gordon chases it down. It's back to the fullback, back to the defensive midfielder, and back to Gordon, who puts the ball in the net. Second goal. You can see again, we're attacking. Your fullback's been getting forward. There's your 2 defensive midfielders. Nope, sorry. There's an attacking midfielder. There's your 2 defensive midfielders. Here are your wingers, very tight up front with the striker, and the ball just breaks loose. We win it back with good pressing and a lovely finish from Bruno Guimaraes. Okay, Bruno bringing it forward, carrying it from midfield. He puts it out to Barnes on the wing, into the box. Joe Linton from midfield with the 3rd goal. So this is it. This is the beast tactic. Now, what I've done with this one, I've made a 4-2-3-1 before. There's lots of strong 4-2-3-1s out there, but I wanted to make one with as many different roles as I can. You often see the defensive midfielders, you often see the attacking midfielders, the inside forwards, and the advanced forward, which we know is a superpower role. I wanted to try and stay away from them and give a bit of variety so you can still get your results, but with some different roles. Before we jump in to the team instructions and player instructions and break it all down, if you're loving the Football Manager tactics, hit like, hit subscribe, plenty more tactics coming out, really helping the channel out. I appreciate all the support so far, so thank you very much for everyone who's liked, everyone who's subscribed, and if you haven't, then do it now. Okay, moving on to the team instructions. I've called it Beast. Doesn't matter what you start with. As long as you match all these up, you can start with whatever you like. Pick any one of these. Doesn't matter about the name, and just make these all match up and the player instructions, and it will work for you as intended. So a lot of the instructions that we use quite often, we've got standard passing though on this one, but we've got high tempo, running at defense, focusing down both wings, passing it into space, fairly narrow setup with the low crosses. We are rolling it out. Counter pressing when the ball's been lost, and when the possession's been won, countering, but again, haven't told the keeper where to roll it. Completely up to him. With this setup, I've left get stuck in off, I've left step up more off, but we are preventing goalkeeper distribution. We are triggering the press much more often. We've got a high press with the line of engagement, and the defensive line, it's higher. We're not going extremely high, gone higher, got a lot of passive rolls, not quite as aggressive as the absolute meta 4-2-3-1, but we've got a lot of good creative rolls. I would just want to create a bit of space for them to work, not have everyone condensed up here, have that bit of coverage with these guys because they are aggressive ball winners. Over to the player instructions. Sweep a keeper on defend, fall back on attack on the right, with take more risks, cross from the byline, dribble more, stay wider, tackle harder, and exactly the same on the other side. Two ball playing defenders, both on dribble more, tackle harder, and then we go to the ball winning midfielders who have no instructions at all. Their coded instruction is tackle harder. That is all they need to do their job. On the right, inverted winger, cross less often, sit narrow, tackle harder, and mark tighter. You saw in the highlights, they are pretty close to the man up top, and that's what we are using the sit narrow for. And then you've got the fullbacks who will get forward and do the overlap when the opportunity arises. So same on both sides there. Cross less often, sit narrow, tackle harder, mark those fullbacks or wingbacks tight. In the middle, in the number 10 role, the enganche role. It's a unique playmaker position. It's stationed just behind the strikers in the attacking midfield slot. So it's unlike the other creative roles. The enganche doesn't move about much, stays central, acting as the team's focus. He's like a pivot for attack. Doesn't press or track back. He focuses entirely on receiving the ball in that space, dictating play with their vision, with their technique, and their passing. So you need someone, really creative player. I'm thinking Mesut Ozil. He just float about the pitch, get him the ball, and he'll pick a pass and make you a goal. It's ideal in slower possession systems, but that's why I wanted to give him a bit of space in this one. They are the classic number 10 role. So again, if you want to think further back than Mesut Ozil, probably thinking a Juan Roman Riquelme type player, so a calm, clever player, always pulling the strings in the final third. That's what we've got here with only tackle harder added to that role. They hold position, take more risks, don't run with the ball. They'll stand there, everyone runs off them, and they pick their pass. Up top, I've said it a million times, advance forward, incredible role, but it does get a bit boring using the same roles all the time. If you can get goals with a different role, let's do it. That's what we've done. So Callum Wilson up there with the goals with a poacher on attack. Poacher and an enganche are a really good pairing. I know they both dribble less, and that's why we've got these guys almost overlapping and providing that movement. But these guys, they just work so well as a pairing. And the enganche creates a lot of goals with through balls down the side of the defenders or the poacher, but also finds these guys as they cut in just inside the fullback and the centre back as well. So great combination. Poacher, just tackle harder, they dribble less, they take fewer risks, play safe passes, often to this more creative player. Get a ball there, back to him, and into that space. A really nice pattern to play, and it really works well. And that's the Beast tactic, 4-2-3-1. As I said, a few different roles used, but keeping it fun, keeping it fresh. I've had the game a while now, so it's fun to try things like the enganche and the poacher, that combination. Inverted wingers coming in to help as well. Two ball-winning midfielders instead of your standard DMs on support. It's a lot of fun. Gets the results. Give it a try in your save and let me know how you get on. If this isn't the one you want to see, let me know what you do want to see. Either roles, formations, anything. Make suggestions. Drop them in the comments. The tips video is on the screen now. As for today, though, tactic time done.